Hi everyone, Zoltan here, and in this video we will test the GeForce FX series, the fifth of the GeForce cards. So here we have the low end as the FX 5200, and we have the high end with the FX 5900. Yeah, the XT is a bit lower clocked version, but still from the top of these cards, and both cards from MSI. So here we have the FX 5200 64-bit version using AGP. And what can I tell about this card? Basically, it has the same 4 pixel and 2 vertex shader as the GeForce 4 cards, and even the clock rate is at 250 megahertz, which is really the same, and the memories are so clocked at the GeForce 4200 level, but it's only 64-bit, so that will indicate it will be slower, half the memory bandwidth, so will be slower than the GeForce 4 and even the GeForce 3. It could perform around the GeForce 2 levels, and also it supports all the new DirectX 9 features like the shader model 2.0, so some games will automatically enable the shader model 2.0 pathways, which are even more demanding, and it will make this card performing extremely bad. But of course, if you are forcing shader model 1 or you're forcing the fixed function pipeline, it could perform as well as GeForce 2 GTS or Ultra maybe. So, and this other card is the GeForce FX 5900 from MSI. As you can see, it's a much larger. It has an active cooler, a little nice fan, not as robust or loud as the 5800 was, so it's a bit newer card, and you are requiring a Molex plug here as well. In the box we actually have many cables. I show you already in the preview video from S-Video, because this card supports S-Video in and out, which could be really good for someone. And this Molex plug is using 2 in and 1 out into the card, which is really useful for older power supplies where you have your 12-volt rail separated, and this will help you to combine those and give enough power to the graphics card. So what you can know about it, it still have the 4 pixel pipelines and dual texturing, so actually it can process 8 textures in 1 clock cycle, and also it can process 8 of the Z calling. Okay, I really can't pronounce what I mean about it. So, but shadow map readings, Z buffer reads 8 reads per clock, and in this card they disabled almost every optimization on memory, Z buffer and culling and everything, so it's even slower. But 4 pixel pipelines via ATI had absolutely fine 8 pixel pipes for their cards, and only improvement in the vertex shader is 2, while this card has 3 of the vertex shaders, so not a really big jump. But we have 400 megahertz on the clock, maybe 375, because this is the XT version, and the memory is clocked just a little slower, so not 400 but 350 megahertz. But this is the first time in NVIDIA it has 256 live memory boost, 4 times of this card and double as the GeForce 4 was. So the memory bandwidth is really nice, so not just around 10 but it's around 12 gigabits per second on the FX card. So I believe it will be the best performance so far we had, and actually this is a really decent, really nice card if you're not comparing to ATI, just comparing to the previous ones. And of course, if you are moving to the GeForce 6 series, even the middle class like the 6600 GT could beat this card really hard. But still, it's a nice box, it is a nice card, and we have a DVI this time, and yeah, DVI and VGA as video is not important for us now, but this card will be really interesting to see. Great effects and really bad performance, and also what we can achieve in Halo and Far Cry with this card and all the other games I'm really interested in. So if you are interested, just continue watching the video, because we will move to the games and we'll test all the usual games with this card. So please enjoy the video, and if you have any ideas, questions, use the comment section, and yeah, thank you. Okay guys, so this is the GeForce FX 5200 AGP 8X and 128 megabytes of memory, DirectX 9. And let's see the score. So basically everything was as we expected. So basically 3D Mark 99 is the usual 7500 in score, 7510, not a big difference. FPS was capped at the refresh rate, so nothing really interesting here. 3D Mark 2000, it's a really low score, 7000. This basically between the GeForce 2 MX cards and the GeForce 2 Ti, so basically a GeForce 2 GTS performance, which is really sad compared that this is a GeForce 5 series card. And 3D Mark 2001, also very small score. I think it was a little better than the GeForce 2 Ti score, but much lower than the GeForce 3. We will check this out in a moment. So, and 3D Mark 2003, well, it's a more decent score because at least it can run the Pixel Shader 1.1 code and the Pixel Shader 2, which is not a big advantage after all. So it's lower than the GeForce 4, maybe close to GeForce 3, but definitely much better than the 240 for GeForce 2. So basically I think 3D Mark is a good representation, even if most of the people are saying 3D Mark is just I don't know, not reliable, but I think these are now comparing properly. So you can see the GeForce 4 score here is much better than the GeForce FX series scores. Yeah, and let me see, just for comparison, in 3D Mark 2003, you see the GeForce 3 actually, well, still stronger than what we have, just 1000 with the GeForce 5 FX card. So yeah, and the GeForce 2, just because it can't run any of the tests expected except the first one, 240. Yeah, also one thing noticeable that the vertex shader score in 3D Mark 2003 is around 6.8, which is almost the same as the GeForce 4, while the GeForce 3 card can only do half of it. So basically 2 vertex shader in the GeForce 4 and the 5 represented properly here because the frame rate is just double. But if you see the fill rate, even the GeForce 4 or the 3 card is above 1000 in multi-texture and even better in single texturing. So what I can say, this card supports everything, but the performance is even I don't know how to say. So even for fixed function games, it's just not enough. You can play 99 or 2000s games with it, but even there you have to make compromises, because as you have seen, we tested Unreal and Quake, and the performance was worse than with the GeForce 2 card. So this card is only for office use, and basically that's it, and for some minor gaming. What I have to say that the DVI clarity is perfect. So far we tested only VGA cards, but this DVI output is amazing. Everything is really sharp, and if I go here, you can see this grayish look here without those flickerings or anything. The 2D graphics is absolutely gorgeous compared to any of the previous card, and also in 3D everything looks sharp. I don't know what people say about the FX cards. Yeah, maybe they are worse in games or something with the 16-bit color or anything, but everything is really nice, really sharp, and the graphics quality is great with the default settings in Windows ME, but the performance is non-existent actually, so you can't really play much. Yeah, I told the details about the games in the gameplay part. So yeah, I would say thank you so much for watching, but from now we are going to check the FX 5900 XT card with the games and 3D marks also, and then we will have our conclusion. Carmageddon 2000 max settings, native resolution, and basically this game is playable. Low frame rates but stable, so yeah, this game is okay with this card and looks really nice. A bit dark, but otherwise it's a great experience. Not as stable frame rates as with the other games, but as you can see, we are between the 30s and 60s in general. So this is good. Now let's wait for this little stun here. Well, nice jump. But yeah, it's playable, it's smooth. So it's okay to play those games with this card. GTA Vice City. I'm not sure that this game supports shader model 2 or not, but it's a newer game, so possibly. What I noticed with the GeForce 2 FX, that around those colorful lights, as you can see, there is this smoke or fog effect, and I've noticed some other minor effects like this with this card, and even the sky looks somehow better or different. So it looks really nice, maximum settings, and very stable frame rates. So while with the GeForce 3 we experienced those shutters while loading the area, with this card there is no such thing. Maybe because while the GeForce 3 was a 32 or maybe 64 megabyte version, this card is 128, and the VGA memory, I think, really helps this game. And as you can see, sometimes the frame goes down to below the 20s, down 12 or something, but it's still playable because basically the frame rate is really low but stable, and the stability makes the game feels smoother than the high fluctuating frame rates. So the experience was a little bit better with the GeForce 4, but even with this card it's really okay, I can say. Maybe you lower resolution a little bit and it's smooth as butter. So yeah, really nice looking. You can see the contrast between the lights and the dark part. So yeah, GTA Vice City looks really great, and basically overall this game is really old, and I think it's decent. Low polygon count and some textures are not as high resolution as in modern games, but I think it's still enjoyable. more annoying as the controls and death in water and this stuff. But yeah, it's playable and fun with this card. So this is Drakan, native resolution, everything highest, of course. And what I can say, it's playable, but you can experience some frame drops. But it's really old game from '99, if I remember well, or 2000 maybe. And of course, the card from 2004, or yeah, basically the FX series. It has to be playable. And it is. The frame rate is okay. I think it's the level of the GeForce 3 basically in this game. And yeah, frame rate stable, graphic looks nice, so you can play old 2000s game with this card. But yeah, maybe except Unreal Tournament, because that was running really bad with high resolution. Unreal Tournament on the FX 5200. Fraps is tricky with this game because sometimes it displays, sometimes it does not. But what I could say, the frame rate is stable between 20 and 30, which is really low compared to the GeForce 4 and the GeForce 3 card. It's around the GeForce 2 GTS, a little bit slower than the GeForce 2 Ti, maybe GeForce 2 MX, the faster ones, the same performance. The graphics is awesome, all the colors are really nice, but the frame rate is low but stable. So this is what I can primarily say with this FX card, that the frame rates are really stable, low and stable, basically. So sometimes it feels even better than it was with the GeForce 3, sometimes around the hundreds and other times down to the 40s or 50s, which is still double than this card's performance, but at least it's stable. I think with VSync at 30 frames per second, the GeForce 3 would be great as well. But yeah, so this is Unreal Tournament. Playable, a little bit of lower resolution, and it will be, or would be, great. And this is Unreal Tournament 2004. I decided not even start a single map for this part of the video, because as you can see the frame rates and the lags, you see, there was a click, and you have to wait a lot. Even the main menu is lagging really badly. It's even worse than it was with the GeForce 2. The GeForce 3 and 4 cards was amazing in the menu and even the game. I tried playing a map, and well, it's really bad. Yeah, maybe just quick start on it. You can see that the frame rates are really low with this game. So if you lower the resolution, because all the other settings are low for all the cards, maybe it's playable. Smaller deathmatch maps are okay, but no, the Unreal Tournament 2004, I believe it's a no for this card. Yeah, 800 by 600 maybe, but it's slower at loading, and also it's lagging a lot. So you see, really bad frame rates, 20s, 10s, while we had around 50 or 60 with the GeForce 4. 4200, which is the lower end of the GeForce 4 card. So yeah, the Unreal Tournament 2004 is no for the FX card because of these extreme freezes. So yeah, and Quake 3 Arena on the FX card. This is a recorded playthrough, and native resolution, everything at the highest possible, and as you can see, it's quiet playable, frame drops here and there, but it's still smooth. I've tested Team Arena as well with the large open environment, and there you can see frame drops to 20s, 30s, sometimes the whole frame rate is hovering around. So what I could say, you can play Quake 3 with this card nicely, but Team Arena is maybe too much. You have to lower the resolution to 1024 by 768 if you want to play this game as well. So yeah, but it's looking really great in OpenGL. I think the DVI output helps a lot. It's much more clear. So, Quake 3 Arena. Series Sam first encounter on the GeForce 5 FX 5200, quality settings and 1280 by 1024, same setting as we've tested with the GeForce 4, and what I can tell is the graphics is awesome, really clear, sharp, smooth and everything, really impressive. And the frame rates are stable, much more than with any of the previous cards, but of course it's half or less than half of the frame rate, 1/3 of it, because we've experienced 100 or above 100 with the GeForce 4 in cases like this, and here we have only 20 or 30 frames per second, sometimes a little lag here, but basically Series Sam is playable if you lower the resolution a bit. This game is okay in the FX 5200. You can play through it and it's fine and still looking good. So yeah, maybe you have to go down in the resolution, but still FX 5200 is a pass for this game. And this is Far Cry, and the same thing I could tell with other more modern games is the textures are more detailed. I think this is with the shader model 2.0, and Far Cry adapts to it, and there's more normal mapping, bump mapping on the textures and more detailed textures on the ground, especially also the rocks are looking better, and the terrain around those mountains and everything has some extra detail with this video card. And the frame rates are lower, of course, basically because some extra work to do, and also this card is slower, but really, but still, I believe it will get even worse, but as you can see we are the 20s and 40s sometimes, and it's still very stable, so somehow Far Cry runs very good in this card with the native resolution, everything at the lowest, but still it looks nice, playable, sometimes a little lag here and there, but in general it looks much better than it was with the GeForce 4. Also, maybe if I could decide, I would play this with the GeForce 4, because I am preferring the better frame rates. The GeForce 3 was a little slow, and the GeForce 2 was ugly with the fixed function, so still the GeForce 4 42,000 is a better choice for these games, or in general to the games. But the FX series card, if you have it just to an office PC or something and want to play, you can play these older games, and Far Cry is, yeah, it's not that old either, and it's playable. And finally, this is Halo with the default settings. I mean, it's using the shader model 2.0 PAT, and the resolution is 640 by 480, so everything the lowest possible, and as you can see, you might consider it playable because you have some acceptable frame rate around the 30s, but it can drop a lot to the 15s sometimes. But shader model 2.0 is looking really nice. You have these loadings, of course, because you can see the lights here. These really nice. You see, this is laggy. Yeah, but the lights and textures, materials with the basic reflections and everything, even your gun is looking really nice. So if I have an FX 5200, maybe I would prefer this version. You can set it or force the shader model 1.1 PAT. You can step up to 800 by 600, and it's around the same in performance, or keep the low resolution, and maybe you will have a better frame rates. But these lags and loadings are not disappearing. Or you can use the fixed function or just PAT, and you can go up to 1024 by 768, maybe put the textures on high, and it will be, I could say, really ugly in this map, even worse than it was in outside. Outside the fixed function was okay, except the water, but here the translucent glossy part of your weapon would be just a simple white texture. Also the floor, where you can see this nice pattern, would be just completely white, and parts of the walls as well. And here in this inside environment on the enemy ship is really ugly, and you're not gaining that much performance. So basically with this card I would prefer this very low resolution, low settings, and I would just play with Shader Mode 2 because it looks nice, it's playable, maybe oldish looking, but you cannot expect more with this card. And I think in Halo this Shader Mode 2 is really nice. You can see the floor, it's yeah, sweet. I like that graphics. So because this is the last game test, I'll just keep showing this gameplay and say a few things. We were playing Animaniacs, this old DOS game on Windows ME, and this is the first card where it just cannot start. It giving access violation stuff, so it's a different driver for this card. It supports the FX and the 6 series cards, while we're using the same driver from the GeForce, from the TNT2 to the GeForce 4, and those old games were playable, but not with this FX card anymore. And also when I exit Far Cry, I get some same access violation errors, and it's automatically reboots if I try to close the error message. So maybe it's a Windows Millennium and FX card issue, but that would indicate that maybe if you're using Windows ME or 9X, you should stay with until the GeForce 4, and you would be able to play all the old games and maybe some new ones as well. But after that you should switch to Windows 2000 or Windows XP, because the Win9X memory limit at 512 megabytes, also an indication that for newer games like Halo and Far Cry you would need more memory. So switch to XP, it's a better choice for the more modern games. But of course we will still test the 5900 now, and also later the 6 series cards, because we still have drivers for Windows ME, and well, we want to see what we can achieve with this system and with this operation OS. So well, I will show you the graphs, and yeah, I will show you the other card as well. So no goodbye yet, but still, thanks for watching, and please like if you like the video. And this is GTA Vice City 1280 by 1024, highest settings, and as you can see this game is running really nicely. Frame rates between the 60s and 100s. Sometimes you can feel a little micro shutter or something, but it's really, oh yeah, the 30s now. But still, it's playable, it's running nicely. I will exclude some games from this test run, like Drakan and Revolt and Carmageddon, because basically those games are running with the same details as with the previous FX card, but with a stable frame rate around the hundreds. Revolt around 200 and 300, and Carmageddon is almost entirely logged at 75 frames per second. So those games are not really demanding for this card anymore. Yeah, so GTA Vice City is nice, really nice with this card. Unreal Tournament, and the resolution is the same, everything at the highest settings, and basically Fraps again is not showing up, but it's a stable 75 frames per second, and it looks awesome. So for a tournament as well, this card is perfect, really enjoyable. Unreal Tournament 2004, and for this game I set the resolution to 1024 by 768 because I realized in this game the higher resolution is just a little bit too much. Everything's set to the lowest, it's playable, but yeah, I've decided to put most of the settings to high instead, lower the resolution a little bit, and yeah, basically everything is set to high and all the ticks is just unticked because those are really performance heavy. So yeah, and with these settings, this is the most demanding map. It doesn't really drop below 30, maybe at the first part of this little video, and now you see some 20s, which is strange. I think it's because the memory management on Windows Millennium, because if you are start this game with a fresh reboot, the frame rates are a bit better, the minimums at least. So yeah, it looks great, plays great, and if you are playing the normal capture the flag or deathmatch maps, the frame rate is around the 80s, 100s, and it's really stable around that level. So yeah, so far this is the best performing card, of course much better than the GeForce 4, and this game is nicely playable, but it would require 6 series of NVIDIA card to run it at its maximum setting, because if I set it to the highest settings, I just have a lot of micro stuttering or lags when it's tries to load. So I think it might be the problem with the half gig of system RAM, which is tied to Windows Millennium now. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to the Windows 2000 setup and see those cards and these games performing better. And this is a Quake 3 Theme Arena, 1280 by 1024, of course, and everything at the highest setting. And as you can see with this game, as this is the most demanding level as far as I know, stable 91 FPS logged, so awesomely playable with this graphics card. It also looks great through the DVI connection. Yeah, really awesome. And also, as if it's an FX card, I have to say that it's really quiet, so no noises. Can't really hear the fan of the card, so it's a good thing, and this is true for 3D Marks as well. So performance is great, I'm really satisfied with this card so far. Series Sam on the FX 5900, 1280 by 1024 quality setting, and as you can see the FPS is quite high, around 70 and 100, even above 100. This is a COP demo in Series Sam. Basically this game is perfectly playable with this card. Of course the game predates this card by far, but still it wasn't playable on the FX 5200 that much, and with this card it's perfectly playable. So this is Halo with the shader model 2.0 by default, and this is just fine for this card. The resolution is at 1024 by 768 because the high resolution is just too much with these settings, and everything is set to high, so maximum, except the reflections, because that really kills the frame rate. Also looking very good in the inside areas. As you can see, the frame rate is quite nice between the 40s and 60s, which is great, and also the graphics is looking good. But as you are moving on the level after checkpoints, the loading happens, and this is really laggy for a moment, a short pause, which could be annoying because sometimes it loads very frequently. For instance, if you are driving by a car, and yeah, as you can see here as well, this is annoying. But even lowering the settings doesn't really changes it. But let me just put the car good. So yeah, this is Halo playable and nice in this card. But yeah, it would require a better OS, I guess, because half gig of RAM is just a little short here. So yeah. And this is Far Cry. I set the resolution to 1024 by 768, because basically if you were using binoculars with a high resolution, the frame rate just dropping to the 20s or even 10, 12, 15, so it was really annoying. But with this resolution, it's much more playable, and this is a good thing. As you can see, the loading times also improved with this card, and I was able to set the quality to medium as well. So yeah, with this resolution, medium setting, as you can see, even the lowest frame rates with the binocular here are the 40s, so it never really drops below 30, and no really big shutters or anything of loading. So Far Cry is nicely optimized and looking good in this card. Also, as you can see, the water is transparent now and look like water, which is a good thing. So yeah, this is what I could tell about the FX card. It's performing much better than the GeForce 4, also looking great. It's quiet. I believe it's not too hot, because otherwise I think it would be loud as well. So yeah, it's a really nice experience. 2D and 3D graphics is nice. So the only downside could be that maybe the competition ATI could perform even better with the 9600 as well. 9600 XT would definitely perform a little bit better with these games. But yeah, in itself, this card is a really nice card, and I'm enjoying playing with it. We will retest it with Windows 2000 or XP later on, but so far it's a really good card. Yeah, one driver issue maybe. If I exit Far Cry, it just crashes and I have to restart. Memory access issue, same with the DOS game before. But it could be a Windows Millennium or 9X related issue, maybe something with the memory being too low, or generally this game wasn't really designed for Windows ME, even if it runs on it. So we will take a quick look at the 3D Mark scores, and then basically we will look at the graphs of the FX cards and comparing them to the previous ones. And this is all about this test. Hope you enjoyed it. But yeah, we will talk a little bit about the scores first. Okay guys, so finally let's just discuss the 3D Mark results of the FX 5900. So basically, if we told about the 3D Mark 99 scores at 7500, because yeah, the VSync is actually somehow enabled in this benchmark. Yeah, just go back here and see. This is the GeForce FX in the driver, 8x AGP, 128 megabytes of memory. Yeah, and we have a TV encoder as well here. going back to 3D Mark 2000, 1700 and 600, yeah, okay. So, yeah, it's a nice score. It was around 10,000 only with the GeForce 4. We will check this out in 13,439 with 3D Mark 2001, and in 3D Mark 03 we have 5,000, which is much better than the GeForce 4, 1,500 as a score. And as you can see, the minor details, which is interesting. The vertex and pixel shaders are really awesome. Also, the free fill rate is great with these cards, and somehow also the CPU score increases a little bit. So, fresh data here. Let's just quickly jump to the GeForce 4 scores here, and you can see, well, it's strange. 3D Mark 2000. 17,000, and with the FX series we had 17,634. GeForce 4 is 14,000, so a little bit of increasement here. GeForce 4 we have 10,500 with 2001, and with GeForce FX we have 13,000. Not that much of an increasement actually, but compared to the FX 5200, it's really big difference. And yeah, 1,500 3D marks, and as you can see, we have no pixel shader 2.0, of course, in the vertex shader 7.6 frames per second, and with the FX series card we got 16, and basically. Just going through this course, the first test of course is running extremely smooth, and also these two tests with Pixel Shader 1.1 running really great, above 30, and even Mother Nature test is above 30, and with the GeForce 4 we have only 10 and 9 FPS and no Mother Nature test, so really great improvement over the GeForce 4. And if you want to compare it to the lower end FX card where we have Mother Nature, there's only 7 FPS instead of 30 and only 5. It's even worse than the GeForce 4, and we have above 30s with the GeForce FX 5900. So basically that's it, guys. I will share the graphs at the end of the video. This card, I believe it's cool, and I can hear it's really quiet, and it can play my games much better than I was able to play them with the GeForce 4. And just a quick look back at the FX 5200, it's weaker than a powerful GeForce 2, so maybe at the same level as the GeForce 2 GTS. So don't buy the FX card if you want to play games, basically the FX 5200, and the 5900 is a great card if you are an NVIDIA fan, want to avoid ATI and don't want to go to the 6 series. The FX 5900 is a great card. And just a final look at the boxes. So FX 5200 here was really beautiful, actually. The quality and the image quality was great, and the FX 5900, well, where we have performance as well. So these are the two 5 series cards with nice boxes. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you will like this video, and please subscribe to my videos. That would help me a lot. Here is a quick look at the card, and there's really nice stuff they are trying to put in the box. So yeah, we will gonna see the 600 as the GeForce 6600 GT in the next video. Thanks you once more, and see you in the next video, hopefully. So have a nice day, morning or night or whatever, and bye bye.